Hello, this is Guy7, and today we are going to learn about how to import your own custom music to Mario Odyssey with the addition of having it work in the beginning of when the song plays, because if you don't follow certain steps, then if you go to play your song in game, then it can sound all glitchy or corrupted in the beginning or throughout the whole song. So what we'll be doing is not only be replacing the BFSDM for your song, but replacing the Prefetch file as well. So now what you're going to need is Citric Composer, which I will send a link to in the description to my GitHub IO, and just download the installer and install it. And you're also going to need the erasinjector.exe made by Aqua, and you're also going to need your song of choice to get into the game, obviously. So now in the Mario Odyssey folder, you're going to go to Sound Data, and let's see what song we want to replace. I'd say, let's go with The Fall. So I'm just going to copy this BFSTM here. We're going to need it for reference, and I'm just going to label it -back. What you're also going to do is copy this one file named bgmdata.bfsar, paste it in there. Copy bgm std prefetch.eres, paste it in there, and now let me do -back. Now you're going to want to copy this one, and then this is going to be the one we're actually going to be editing. I like having a backup of my files before I edit them in case anything goes wrong. I can easily go ahead and fix them. So now we should have all the files we need right now. So now I can go ahead and X that out. And now what I'm going to do is double click bgmdata.bfsar, and it should open up in Citric Composer if you have it installed, or you could go in Citric Composer itself and hit File, Open, and open the BFSAR. But now what this did is it opened the main sound archive for Mario Odyssey that contains the music in the game. And you can see and play around with all this stuff that's just in here. But this is important because we need to get these stream names, which we will see later. Now you want to go to Tools, Isabelle Sound Editor. Well, you didn't necessarily need to load the BGM data to use this. It's good to have it open. So now I'm going to import file, and I'm going to go to my desktop, tutorial. Then let me just open up this backup file here. And let me just analyze how this is set up. It has some generic project info as the version 6.1.0, and it doesn't have any tracks or regions, and it has 4 channels. Make a note of how many channels it has. Next, we're going to open your WAV file with Audacity. Alright, I've already prearranged my WAV file to be in 4 channels because I imported it earlier, but you can do whatever you want. You can have 2, 3, 8, just make sure that you have the setting enabled to allow you to convert to a different number of tracks, which can be edited by going to Edit, Preferences, then Import and Export, and make sure Use Custom Mix is selected, and then hit OK. So now when you want to go ahead and export a WAV file, and then go to Tutorial, then I'm just going to go ahead and do br.wav, and make sure you set the number of output channels to 4, since we had 4 channels in here before. It's going to be whatever you had it lined up. And now you can try and experiment with this thing. I can't seem to get to agree with me a lot. But eventually, after playing around, you should get all the channels laid out however you want so that they sound normal in game. Remember that any odd number channel is going to be the left ear, and any even number channel is going to be for the right ear, so keep that in mind. Alright, and now it should export the WAV file. Once that finishes, you can just close out of that. Then you can just close whatever WAV you had open here. Now I'm going to import my WAV file. I don't need this. Now I have all 4 channels here, and I didn't have any tracks before, so I'm not going to add any, and I didn't have any regions, so I'm not going to add any. Now what's next is to edit the project info. Now you're going to want to adjust the loop points how you want them to in order to make it loop how you want. I'm not going to mess around with this for the sake of the tutorial because it can get quite frustrating, but when you're done, copy the loop start to the original loop start, and then copy the loop end to the original loop end. Don't touch the unknown value, and then you want to hit update project info, and then eliminate loop static. Then it should have saved that data. Now Mario Odyssey uses version 6.1, but I'm just going to use 4.0.0 because I don't know what this unknown value is. And this is only present in version 6 up, it seems. So since I don't know that unknown value, I'm just going to keep it at 4. And Mario Odyssey still works with version 4, so there's no reason to play around with unknown values. Hit File and then Export Binary. Then I'm just going to call this strmresbgmfall.bfstm. Then go to NX stream, click that, and hit Save. Now this can take a while depending on how much data you're exporting, the number of channels, the size of channels, blah blah blah. And it's common for it to not respond. Don't panic though, it's just doing its thing. It has a lot of stuff to export. Alright, now it seems like it's finished exporting the BFSTM. I'm just going to open it with foobar real quick to make sure it's working. Yep, it works. Now you can go to Tools and Stream to Prefetch. Then go to this. Now Mario Odyssey uses version 5.1.0, but I'm just going to leave this at 4.0.0 since it doesn't seem to make a difference. And you don't want the prefetch version to be higher than the stream version you have. So just go ahead and click Set Version, hit Switch Prefetch, and I'm just going to call it Fall. And you can see I have exported the stream prefetch data. Now, you've probably never seen these BFSTPs before, so you're probably wondering what that's about. Well, basically, when Mario Odyssey is loading large files, say a BFSTM, look at that, that's 17 megabytes, and some of them can even go up to 50 megabytes. And as you can guess, that can take a while for the game to load. And what if the game is loading a file and it takes too long and you enter an area and it's not playing the music? That would be a bad thing, wouldn't it? So in order to prevent this from happening, Nintendo invented something called Prefetch Files. What this basically does is it contains a very small portion of the BFSTM file, and it kind of plays at the same time as the BFSTM in the beginning to ensure that if the BFSTM is not loaded, then at least the music is playing in the background. And, you know, it kind of is stalling for the BFSTM. it's allowing time to load while the user doesn't notice it. But anyways, Nintendo stores these BFSTPs referenced in this one group called BGM Resource STD Prefetch, which is actually what this ARES files is about. And there's actually a BFGRP in there that contains a bunch of BFSTP files. Now you can see all the references to all these BFSTPs and BFSTMs, blah 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 in there. And you can see that the majority of the BFSTPs are in the group only. But you can see though that there are some BFSTPs that appear to be in this sound archive. During the time of making this tutorial, you cannot replace those BFSTPs in this BFSAR right now unless you were to, say, hex edit the BFSAR itself, which is not too hard to do if you know what you're doing. But for now, you should just stick with anything that's in the group only, or wait till this Citric Composer can actually save. But luckily, the group editor in Citric Composer works, and so it allows us to do what we want to do. So now, in order to extract the BFGRP from this file, we need aresinjector.exe. So double click that. And now load ARES file. Select the ARES, hit export BFGRP. I'm just going to call it prefetch group. You can call it anything you want, .bfgrp. Hit enter. And now it should have exported the BFGRP file. I'll close that for now. I'll open that later though. Now go to Tools, Goldie's Grouper. And now here's where it was important to load the BFSAR. As you can see, when it loaded the BFSAR, it loaded all these file names for the BFSTPs and the BFSTMs. However, the BFGRP contains no file names by itself. And so what this did is, if I open the BFSAR, it allows the to detect that it sees a file in here. And it's like, oh, I know the file name because the file name for file number 17 is strresbgm Canopio Brigade. So if there's any file with the ID 17, then it must have that same exact name. And so now we can go ahead and open our BFGRP, and you can see that we have all these file names here. Now what you want to go do is go to the one that matches the song you want to replace. I have STM RS BGM Fall, and so that's going to be right here. Right click that, hit replace. Now essentially at some point what I'm going to have available is this option here called generate from stream. And what that's going to do is, if you have the BFSTM and copy and paste it into your folder, stream folder for Odyssey, and just open the BFSAR in its normal location and right click that generate BFSTP, it's going to be able to replace it, and you won't have to generate the BFSTP through Isabelle because it's just going to generate the BFSTP that way. But until that's done, we just need to generate the BFSTP file with Isabelle, and then right click this and hit replace. It's not too much work, so it doesn't really matter that much. And so you're going to want to double click your BFSTP file. Let it do its thing. Alright, it seems like it's done now. Hit File, Save, then X out of that. And you can see that the BFGRP has been recently edited. Now that our BFGRP has been edited, go back to aresinjector.exe, load your ARES file, import BFGRP, double click that, File should have been written successfully. And now let's see what it looks like in game. Alright, it seemed to have worked successfully. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you all later.